Welcome, Aries. This is your monthly focus for July 2016. My name is Tilly, and this is Tarot with Tilly. And before we begin, thank you. Thank you so much for all the loving, beautiful, positive support that you send my way each and every day. Truly, thank you so, so much. Now, in my morning meditation, I had a vision. I had angels whisper into my ears, my spirit guides, telling me of a different way to do the monthly. So we're going to try it this month and see what happens. Basically, I've laid down um, a card for the energy going through. That's your first card, the most important card, I think, going into the month. And then we have another card at the end taking us out of the month. So probably about the 15th or the 20th, the energy starts to shift. And that only makes sense when you think about it because our signs change. So if nothing else, the sun is progressing. And so maybe those we could think about as our sun card. Moving in out of one sign and into a new sign as the month progresses. And then I have a general energy, of course, your love focus, work, career, finances. Then I have your spirituality cards and health and well-being. So let's start at the very beginning when we have the Hierophant as our card leading into the month and going through the first half of the month. This is telling me that you need that spiritual balance this month. That meditation, prayer, being alone in your thoughts. You could get reminiscent. You could be bringing up old things in your life and meditating on them. You could be, I think it's a lot about bringing in the balance in our life through spirituality, through being alone with our thoughts, through grounding ourselves, through getting out in nature, through thinking things through, but on a spiritual level, when our minds are quieted, when we are centered, when we are in the now. Now, I don't really see any real big transformation cards here. I don't see um, any kind of deception going on, hurt, pain, like traumatic, okay? We have our everyday life to deal with and all kinds of bumps in the road, little bumps in the road. But as far as big bumps are concerned, very beautiful cards. The most negative card, I think, on the board is the first week of work, career, finances. Okay, we have the Seven of Swords. So, be careful about who has your back at work, who's helping you move forward in work. This could be where you are thinking about what you truly want to do, what you want to manifest going forward, the type of career you want to walk into. Maybe it's a home-based business you're thinking about starting. What is really needed in order to go forward? Where am I spinning my wheels? Where do I no longer need to put energy in order to prove myself, perhaps? Where do I no longer need to put my energy in order to get a project going or in the right direction? And watch your back here, okay? This is when the gossip starts about you, or maybe you're starting the gossip, but it's more often whispers behind your back, people talking about you. So make sure that you have been putting your best foot forward, and definitely the first week you don't want to give them cause to point the finger at you. You want to be doing excellent work. You want to be tackling the priorities. And if this is getting a business off the ground, then you are looking at what is truly needed in order to get that business moving forward in the right direction. This isn't usually moving forward, although you gain energy as mid-month comes and then the end of the month. Mid-month here, we've got the Knight of Swords, and this is where we are starting to feel that powerful empowerment. The energy surrounds us, our vibration raises. We come out of the gate here, we come out of the forest where our thoughts were kind of pulled back, maybe. Okay, when you think of being in a forest, you can't move fast with a horse because you have to meander around the trees and the fallen trees, the live trees, the overgrowth, the thickets. So you can't move quickly with a horse. So this is the time that you're kind of coming out with the Seven of Swords energy, where you're really thinking about what you need to do, where you need to go forward. And here, as mid-month approaches, you start to feel this energy. And by mid-month, you should be raring to go. You should be championing for success. You should be, well, failure isn't even part of the equation when it comes to this card. And then as we go into the final stages of the month, the last week perhaps going into next month, this is the yes card. This is success. This is, if you use the energy properly here, you don't try and push out of the gate too early, okay? And you're really pondering, you're thinking, you're planning, you're strategizing, you're understanding where to put your energy, so that when you do hit mid-month, you know exactly where the meadow is, where you can get up full gallop. And that brings success because you're raising your energy now. You're starting to do, you're starting to accomplish, you're starting to make heads turn. Those whispers of the first week, they're gone, they're forgotten, because you've proven yourself. You're showing people what you can do. This is the yes card. This is saying that you've moved in the right direction when it comes to work, when it comes to career, when it comes to starting that home-based business. Now, the other negative card, I guess, is the overall energy, and this is the first week, and it might be more work than anything else because we have the Five of Swords, and sometimes this is negative energy, walking away from negative energy, getting with like-minded people, people that can help you move forward. So just watch, especially when it comes to work and career, who you are teaming up with. Even if you are starting your own business, you might have a business partner. Who are you getting, well, who are you getting in bed with when it comes to business, when it comes to finances, when it comes to making money? Okay, do they have good character? Are they sound-minded? Are they full of creative new ideas? Do they shadow maybe one of your weaknesses so that there is a duality in your strength going forward? So just be more cautious of the negative naysayers, who's pulling you down, who's not trying to help you accomplish, okay, and who is. And gravitate to those people who are. Gravitate to those people that are like-minded, that maybe be authority figures that can sway a decision in your favor in the future, because we do have the Ten of Pentacles. But also in everyday life, because that is more of a generalized card. So you'll probably find this in all areas of your life. And, we have the Hermit as the second card. So this is where we pull inwardly, okay, mid-month. Now, generally, we're pulling inwardly. Work, we're starting to get that energy going, but maybe it's through meditation and prayer. Maybe we are centering ourselves a little bit more each day. This tells me that the planning and the strategizing and the plan forward is still being developed here, that we still need to put energy towards it, even if it's work, even though we're feeling the vitality, we're feeling like we can succeed, we still have to put our energy into the thought process, okay? The Hermit is typically one that goes into a cave, goes into the desert, and taps into their intuition, taps into their higher wisdom, starts to plan the future, knowing, while working with the absolute truth. And then coming out of the desert, coming out of the cave, and going forward. And then going forward, we have the Fool. So this is where brand new paths can open up to you. Once again, I'm going to go to work, but it could be in any area of your life, okay? This could be new love. This could be new health. This could be a new way of approaching your health and well-being. This could be definitely dropping old habits, and probably in the second week, when we are planning, when we are looking, when we are soul searching, we see how we can move forward, maybe through health and well-being, maybe in a relationship, maybe at work, or maybe it's our stature in the community. Now for love, okay, Eight of Wands is our first card. So this brings in all kinds of new opportunities. So if you are not in a relationship and you are looking for a relationship, then definitely new opportunities abound for you. So I would almost think that you're like a magnet when it comes to attracting the people. And, love is we think partnership, but it could be your new best friend. It could be a new partner in life that works with you and is at your side, maybe through work, maybe through the community. But this brings in the people that are needed in your life in order to help you fulfill your desires, walk in your passions. Now, here's the problem though, is we're looking forward here. We're not seeing all this opportunity. So pay attention to the now, the people that you are meeting now. Now, don't get off in some lofty fantasy of the person you want to meet one day, the way you want things to be one day. This is opportunity. Now, if you are in a relationship, this opens up all kinds of new opportunities for growth, for expansion, for deepening the relationship. Once again, we can't be looking at the end result, the end goal here. We really need to be looking at the now and working on the now. Mid-month, we have the King of Swords. And so this is where we are powerful, we are passionate. Okay, that he can bring in a lot of passion in a relationship. But he knows what he wants. And he's not afraid of stating it out loud, saying it out loud, making that declaration of love or what is needed in the relationship in order to go forward, or what you want or desire in the relationship. You have a voice here. Now, the only caution I would give you when you have this energy is it's strong and it's powerful, and sometimes we can come across as egotistical or self-centered, or it's all about me and they don't matter. And of course they matter. That's why you're having the conversation with them in the first place. So you just need to choose your words wisely. Think about the end result of what you really want to accomplish, saying what you were saying or doing what you were doing when it comes to love, because your actions are just as strong here. So maybe bring home your sweetie flowers, or I don't know, a case of beer, or something that they truly wanted, or it's like a frivolous little gift. Maybe it's their favorite dessert or something. Pick it up on the way home as a little treat for them. Show them, use your actions to show them that they matter, so that when you do have the conversations, they know where you're coming from, because they're already feeling the sense of love through your actions. Now, as we go towards the end of the month, we have the Six of Wands. So using this energy correctly shows success here. And this is success through other people as well. So if you are looking for somebody, this could be a time when you meet somebody through a friend, through an acquaintance, through a relative. Okay, that blind date thing that we're kind of scared about all the time. We don't know what to expect. This is where expect good, because chances are they know you well enough to help you meet somebody. And it might not be the end all be all relationship, but it might be somebody who brings sunshine into your life and happiness and joy and giggles. And I mean, that's a success all on its own. Now, if you are working towards a better, stronger, deeper relationship, this shows success. So, just be mindful of your words, okay? And be mindful, especially at the beginning of the month, not to be looking so far forward that the walk is too long. You don't even feel like trying, because you see how long the walk needs to be instead of concentrating on the day and moving forward. Now, for our spirituality, the Three of Pentacles is our first card, which is kind of cute considering we have the Hierophant as our very overall energy. And this is part of our overall energy when it comes to our spirituality. And this is the hard work. So this is making sure that you are doing the affirmations in the morning, making sure that you are being grateful in the evening for the things that you do have in your life. This is working hard towards a spiritual oneness, a feeling of being grounded, a feeling like you do have the angel's ear when you're speaking out loud or thinking thoughts through your heads, because they can hear your thoughts. They know. I had a comment recently that asked if we had to state the things that we wanted to give up to God to help us with. And of course not. God already knows. But you have to just ask for the help sometimes. So this, I got a little off here because this isn't really asking for help unless you need help. Maybe that's the work that you need to do, is to actually be honest with yourself that you can't do it all by yourself. that life is overwhelming or chaotic or stressful, and that you would like some intervention, that you would like some guidance, because you hold the paintbrush to your future here. You hold the paintbrush to your portal. So one, what do you want your spirituality to look like at the end of the day? How much time does it take? How many resources does it take? It doesn't take any, by the way. Okay, if you do an affirmation in the morning, and in fact, I was listening to my new moon affirmation um, yesterday, and I thought, it's only about 10 minutes in length. I wonder how many people can go the whole 10 minutes without thinking, oh my gosh, it's going on still. Because they need to believe when they're listening to that. And it's even more powerful in my own voice to listen to it. So, do a YouTube video of your own. Okay, do a YouTube video like my new moon affirmations, and make it 3 or 4 minutes. Get some music. You don't have to worry about copyright because you're not going to make it public. You're going to make it private just for your own viewing. So when you are out in nature on your phone and you find a stream to sit by, you can turn that on and you can repeat the words. You can listen to yourself telling you how great and marvelous and beautiful and special and unique that you truly are. So, uh, but I was listening to it wondering how many people have a hard time listening to the true belief of themselves, of what they're capable of how empowered they are. Or does the negativity start to say, turn that off? So be careful of what you are creating with that paintbrush. As we go mid-month, it's the Five of Wands. So this might be where you are joining a yoga class, Reiki lessons, getting involved in maybe a house of God of some sort, or a group that has the same kind of spirituality mindset that you do. This where you might want to take an astrology class, a tarot class. This, it's getting out with people, learning with, through, and helping others through spirituality. So, and also I think you'll feel more grounded come the second week around people, starting to grow, okay? Because we had the Hermit as our second card, but we do have to also remember the energy of this card for mid-month is we're going into the cave, but we're also coming out of the cave, right? Because we do have the Fool showing us that new beginnings start to manifest in our life. So start to get out around people, around groups, tap into others' wisdoms and share your wisdom and knowledge. As we go towards the end of the month, we have the Knight of Pentacles. So this is the steady and true approach. So if you use this energy correctly, wow, do you have a strong spiritual routine in place? Okay, and I was saying 5 minutes in the morning, no more than 5 or 10 minutes. You don't need it. Gratitude, 30 seconds, maybe a prayer around your lunchtime or something, or just tapping into you. And when you start to do this on a regular basis, it becomes a habit. And when it becomes a habit, you don't even think of doing it anymore. It's just part of your routine. So this is the steady approach. This is knowing that you've got this. This is knowing that spirituality is grounding you, that it's helping you work through stresses, concerns, chaos. But it's also moving you forward on your path to passions and dreams and desires. For our health, well-being, we start with the King of Cups. And so this is where we really need to bring in a security in our health and our well-being. This could be where we are looking at the second week is more of what to change and what not. This is feeling grounded. I think this might go more towards the feeling of well-being coming through the family, close friends, building upon relationships. Okay, and we have the ship in the background, and we're kind of, it's kind of cloudy there. I know it's waves and water, but to me, I see the clouds, okay, and I see clouds over and below. Okay, so I'm thinking that your thoughts here could be traveling. So our thoughts, where do they travel? They rarely travel forward unless we consciously guide them forward. What they normally do is they take us back to a period in time. So don't worry so much. It's showing you the security and the well-being that's already in your life. by re-examining old scars, ripping the band-aids off so that it heals properly, giving it some air. So it could be something when you were 5 years old and you're looking back on something and you really feel like you can't do something in your life because you were like this once in your life. And you know what? When you were 5 or 6, you did something really dumb, or you look back at it now and you realize that that was a 5-year-old fear, not an adult fear, and you're able to release that fear, and it no longer affects your life in the same way, and you become stronger in how you go forward. Mid-month, we have the Seven of Cups, so we are really looking at the prioritizing of things in our life when it comes to health, when it comes to well-being. This is where we might decide that, you know what, I don't need that habit in my life anymore. I don't want that habit in my life anymore. I don't want to do these things to my body. I don't want to do these things to my mind. I want to grow my mind. I want to make my body healthier, my mind healthier, maybe spirituality healthier. Okay, so now we are starting to get that priority list in place. We are starting to see what things we want to discard in our life when it comes to health and well-being, and where we want to grow in strength. And then we have, for the final part of the month, we have the Page of Pentacles. So here we are, we're holding this pentacle, which is our well-being, the beginning of our well-being, because the page is newer beginnings, new starts. Okay, he hasn't matured into the king, the queen, the emperor, the empress one day, hopefully. Right now we're just a page, so it's looking at new paths forward in what we can do and what we can change and what we can manifest. And yes, there is a red rose on the very top of that, talking about the courage that you may need. So if it's an addiction, this is where we go out and we actually get the help we need. Or we turn to friends and family to be our support system. Okay, meeting a goal is so much harder and so much easier to cheat on when there is nobody else watching. So get the eyes on you. Ask for help. Remember, we had the Five of Wands there in, what was it? Oh, that was spirituality. So yeah, the Five of Wands in your spirituality, they can help you grow your heart, grow your soul, grow your strength, grow your determination, grow your dedication to making you the best you can possibly be going forward. And then we have, going out of the month, so probably about the 15th or the 20th, we have the Queen of Pentacles kicking in, raising our confidence, raising our thoughts, our creativity of what we can do, of what we can manifest. The sun is in your chair, so your self-confidence is strong. The tail end of this month, you are, and look at the sky there. It's moving. It's not on fire, but it's moving. If it was on fire, it'd be red. But a dark blue, which means the storms are happening, the lightning bolts are going, the thunder's going, which means that your thoughts are becoming creative. They're coming new. They've got spark. They get aha moments. That's when the epiphanies come in on how to even grow that abundance that you hold in your lap even stronger and better than you did at the beginning of the month. I think at the beginning of the month, there's a lot more work involved, right? And where we're going. Now, that could have a lot to do with the Mars retrograde. Mars is finally moving forward in July, and at the beginning of July, it's going to be going through a path that we've already covered. So I'm not sure if we even move into the new energy. I'll have to look at that. But according to this, we start to move towards new energy, new ways of doing, new ways of thinking, new ways of being, new ways of becoming, and feeling the self-confidence and the joy in our life going forward. So until we meet again, remember, I do love you.